today we'll be discussing fractions. So first of all, what is a fraction? A fraction is basically a number that represents part of a whole. So if we look at this circle over here, we can see that it has been divided into 4 equal parts. So I'm going to go ahead and color one of these parts. Okay. So I can represent this in a fraction. In a fraction, as you can see, we have a line and then we have a number in the top and a number in the bottom. So the number in the top is known as the numerator, and what that represents is the number of parts that we are going to consider. So in this case, I'm going to talk about the parts that I have shaded in red. So out of these 4 parts, only one of it is shaded in red. So I'm going to go ahead and write 1 over here. And then in the bottom of the line, we have our denominator. So the denominator represents the total number of parts. So if we take this whole circle, it has been divided into 4 equal parts. So I'm going to go ahead and write 4 over here. So this picture can be represented as 1 over 4. We also usually read this as 1/4 because that is the standard way to read fractions. So let's go ahead and go to another example. If we take this example, is the fraction 2 over 5 or 2/5? So as we can see, there are 5 parts that this circle has been divided into, and only 2 of them are colored. But this cannot be represented as 2 over 5. And the reason for this is because these parts are not equal. So you need to remember that the basic requirement for fractions is that all the parts need to be divided into equal parts. So in this example, I'm going to shade 2 of these blocks in purple and then 3 of them in blue. So as you can see, this block has been divided into 6 parts. And if we are to represent this as a fraction, we need to know the total number of parts that make up a whole. So that is going to be our denominator in both the fractions, in the purple fraction as well as in the blue fraction. So I'm going to go ahead and write it. So 6 is in the denominator because it represents the total number of parts. And then when we write the fraction that is shaded in purple, there's 2 shaded in purple over here. So the numerator is going to be 2. So this fraction will show us how many blocks are shaded in purple. And then we are going to go ahead and talk about the blues. So we can see that there are 3 blocks shaded in blue. So we are going to go ahead and write the number 3 as the numerator in that fraction. So 3 out of 6 blocks are shaded in blue. That is what this fraction means. So I'm just going to go ahead and label this as blue. So it's not just the shaded parts that can be represented as a fraction. We can represent the part that is not shaded in a fraction as well. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to figure out what this fraction is, and then I will quickly tell you the answer. Okay, so in this case as well, the denominator is going to be 6 because we have a total of 6 parts. And then in the numerator, we are going to count how many blocks are not shaded. So in that case, it's just going to be this one. So our fraction is going to be 1 over 6. So an interesting fact, if we go ahead and add all these three fractions, 2 over 6 plus 3 over 6 plus 1 over 6. If we go ahead and do that, that would basically mean this entire thing. So when we add fractions, our denominator stays the same. So that would not change and it would be 6. And then we go ahead and add the numbers in the top. 2 plus 3 plus 1. So 2 plus 3 is 5 and then 5 plus 1 is 6. So our answer for adding all of them up is 6 over 6, which makes sense because there's 6 parts in total. So this 6 over 6 can also be shown as 1 because this 6 out of 6 is one entire whole. So with that, we come to the end of this video. I hope you learned what fractions are and how we can represent a few fractions. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.